The drama began with a detail that ought to have been empty. No official PR, no clues, no scripted media attack. Merely a mute Instagram update from Rosé of BLACKPINK, shared exactly when the world was supposedly shutting down for the festive break holidays. At a glance, the photo seemed innocent, nearly intentionally serene, mirroring the sparse vibe followers have grown to link with her style. Yet in K-pop, nothing lives in a void. Quietness is rarely vacant, and plainness frequently masks the wildest declarations. In flash seconds, the cult observed what the photo didn't seek to display: a royal certificate hanging on the wall of her private domain, uncentered, not illuminated, yet impossible to ignore once viewed. They froze their screens, zoomed right in, cross-examined archived clips, and queried if this aspect was designed to be seen or carelessly exposed. This is how scandal in K-pop arises, not through shouting press, but via pieces that fuel intense obsession. The verification came swiftly. It was true. The MBE parchment, a royal honor bound to BLACKPINK's global impact, now hanging quietly in Rosé's room. And that single image cracked open a deeper observation. In an industry founded on perpetual performance and fan validation, why place such a monumental honor so vaguely, practically invisible? Was it bold confidence, sheer burnout, or a quiet refusal of the stardom lure that demands endless praise? Behind the glamour, idols live under relentless pressure to frame every achievement as content. Awards become marketing tools, honors become brand assets. Yet here, Rosé said nothing. No caption explaining its meaning. No story time. Just silence. And that silence felt heavier than any statement. Fans began asking uncomfortable questions about how much of an idol's life is truly theirs, and how much is permanently owned by the industry. This wasn't just about a certificate, it was about control, about choosing when to speak and when not to. And in K-pop, that choice alone can be seen as controversial. If this quiet image unsettled you, stay with us. Subscribe, follow the channel, and keep watching because this story is only beginning to unfold. As the image continued to circulate, the conversation shifted from admiration to something far more complex. Fans weren't just reacting to what Rosé showed, but to what she deliberately refused to explain. In an industry where idols are trained to narrate every success, this absence of context felt unsettling. The MBE certificate became less a symbol of honor and more a mirror reflecting the invisible weight idols carry behind closed doors. Speculation quickly expanded beyond the photo itself. Some fans saw pride quietly embedded in the frame, while others sensed fatigue, the kind that comes after years of being scrutinized, managed, and expected to perform gratitude on demand. K-pop idols are rarely allowed to simply exist with their achievements. Every milestone is expected to be celebrated publicly, monetized, and absorbed into a larger brand narrative. Rosé's silence disrupted that expectation, and disruption is where tension thrives. The detail about her receiving the full MBE title added another layer. Her international identity, shaped by multiple cultures and systems of power, reminded fans that Rosé has always lived between worlds. She is Korean by industry definition, global by market demand, and personal only in fragments. That complexity often gets flattened into aesthetics and slogans, but this moment forced fans to confront the reality behind the image. Suddenly, the discussion was no longer about a wall decoration. It became about ownership of success. Who does an idol's achievement belong to: the artist, the company, or the fandom that invested years of loyalty? The industry rarely allows idols to answer that question for themselves. Yet here, without saying a word, Rosé seemed to reclaim something quietly personal. This subtle act exposed a darker truth. Sometimes the most powerful resistance in K-pop isn't loud rebellion, but controlled silence. And just as this tension reached its peak, attention began to shift elsewhere toward another member of BLACKPINK, in another city, under a very different kind of spotlight. While Rosé's silence invited reflection, Lisa's situation triggered an entirely different kind of reaction. Where Rosé revealed nothing and let meaning settle slowly, Lisa's presence in Paris ignited immediate speculation. The timing could not have been more precise. Christmas, a city associated with romance and luxury, and an idol known for guarding her private life, every element felt engineered for controversy, even though nothing had been confirmed. Images of Lisa laughing, spinning near a Christmas tree with her team, circulated rapidly. On the surface, it looked harmless, almost comforting, but in the K-pop ecosystem, context is everything. Fans began asking why Paris, why now, and why the silence. When it surfaced that she was staying at the Ritz-Carlton, Curiosity escalated into narrative building. Luxury stopped being just comfort and became evidence in imagined storylines. Soon, a single speculative post suggesting Lisa might be spending Christmas with someone special went viral. It didn't matter that there was no proof. The idea alone was enough. In K-pop culture, imagination often fills the gaps left by silence. Some fans dismissed it as fiction, others defended her right to privacy, while many simply enjoyed the drama unfolding in real time. The industry thrives on this ambiguity, where idols' personal choices become public property. Yet, beneath the speculation lies a harsher reality. After years of strict schedules, scrutiny, and constant performance, what does rest even look like for an idol? Lisa's quiet holiday moment exposed how rarely idols are allowed to disengage without suspicion. Whether alone or surrounded by trusted staff, her decision to stay silent once again shifted control away from the public. And as theories multiplied, one question lingered. Was this really about romance, or about an idol choosing herself in an industry that rarely allows it? As the rumors continued to spiral, a familiar pattern revealed itself. The less Lisa explained, the louder the noise became. Silence once again acted as fuel rather than closure. In the K-pop industry, idols are conditioned to respond quickly, to calm speculation before it grows teeth. But Lisa didn't. She chose restraint, and that decision alone became a form of quiet defiance. For longtime observers, this behavior wasn't surprising. Lisa has always been selective about what parts of her life enter the public record. Yet every time she draws that boundary, it exposes how fragile the relationship between idols and fandoms can be. Fans are encouraged to feel close, emotionally invested, yet the moment an idol withholds access, tension rises. Paris became a symbol not of romance, but of distance, physical and emotional. The presence of her team complicated the narrative further. It shattered the idea of loneliness while reinforcing the idea of control. This wasn't an escape or a scandalous getaway. It looked more like a carefully chosen pause, surrounded by people she trusts, away from the relentless machinery of promotions and expectations. Still, the industry rarely allows such pauses to exist without interpretation. What made this moment resonate was its ordinariness. No stage lights, no performance, no script, just laughter near a Christmas tree. That simplicity reminded fans how abnormal the idol life truly is. Even rest becomes suspicious. Even joy must be explained. And perhaps that is the darkest layer of all the inability to exist without being analyzed. As discussions intensified, one truth became impossible to ignore. Whether through Rosé's framed silence or Lisa's quiet presence, something was shifting. These weren't scandals in the traditional sense. They were subtle fractures in the system. And in those fractures, the real story of K-pop begins to surface. When the noise finally begins to settle, what remains is not a clear answer, but a pattern that feels impossible to ignore. Rosé's quiet frame on the wall and Lisa's silent Christmas in Paris are not isolated moments. Together, they form a subtle narrative about power, pressure, and control in modern K-pop. Not the kind of control companies advertise, but the fragile, personal control idols fight to reclaim in small, almost invisible ways. For years, the industry has taught fans to read idols through official statements, curated interviews, and carefully timed disclosures. But these moments broke that rhythm. There was no explanation to consume, no truth to confirm or deny. Instead, fans were left alone with their interpretations, and that discomfort revealed how deeply the system relies on constant access. When idols choose silence, the machine struggles. This is where the real tension lives, not in confirmed scandals, but in the uncertainty. Rosé did not ask for applause for her honor, yet it carried the weight of years of sacrifice, global pressure, and an identity shaped across borders. Lisa didn't ask for drama, yet her zipped lips turned a cozy trip into a wild map for our secret love theories. Neither girl did a thing wrong, yet the jealousy hit us like a toxic ex's screaming fit. The scary fact is that stars aren't allowed to just breathe without a story. A nap becomes a tryst, secrets become sins, quiet becomes a dirty tease. We swear we respect their private love lives, but the fame game runs on selling us a fantasy lover, and taking that away hurts. This drama bears the toxic deal we signed with them, a pact that begs for every dirty detail of who they are kissing even if it destroys their own heart and soul. Maybe that is why the gossip never dies. It isn't about love or trophies. It is about power, about the chaos that hits when a beauty quits playing the toy and just breathes. The jealousy we feel isn't hate, but a wake-up call. We see that beneath the glitter is a beast that eats souls alive, and beloved idols who are finally learning to keep their bodies for themselves. And maybe this is the thrill that scares us. Not who Rosé held or where Lisa slept on Christmas, but what their secrets say about a world where girls start choosing their own desires more than us. If this hot gossip got your heart racing or made you jealous, that is the point, darling. Smash that like, sub to the channel, spill your tea in the comments, and don't go anywhere because we aren't done yet. This is just the foreplay before the really dirty talk begins.